Let me ask you one question that, if you have even a drop of critical thinking left, will make you feel like a complete, clinical idiot the next time you take out your wallet or tap your phone against a payment terminal. You are holding this cardboard cup of coffee for $5, and you are smiling. You feel the warmth passing through the paper. You inhale the aroma of roasted beans, and your brain, that lazy junkie, whispers to you that this is a little joy, that this is a morning ritual necessary for your survival in the office jungle. But let me rip this veil from your eyes and show you what I actually see when I look at your hand. I don't see vigor. I don't see caffeine. I don't see status. I see ash. I see how you just took $1 million. Your million, which by right of birth and time could belong to you, doused it in gasoline, struck a match, watched with sadistic pleasure as it turned into black soot, and then diluted this ash with hot water, added syrup to kill the taste of burning, and drank it with a blissful smile on your face. You think I'm exaggerating for dramatic effect? You think I'm an old, senile miser who wants to deprive you of the only pleasure in this gray life? Oh, how I wish I were wrong, how I wish this were just a metaphor, but the problem is that I am the only person in your life who knows how to count, and you don't, and this mathematical blindness costs you not just money, it costs you the freedom that you voluntarily flush down the toilet every morning. You look at the price tag and see the number 5, and your brain says, "This is cheap. This is pocket change. I earn enough not to think about this." But therein lies the greatest trick that the devil of marketing ever played on humanity. He made you believe that the price of a thing is what is written on the tag. But what if I told you that the real price of this cup is not written on the menu? What if the real price is encrypted in what you don't see, in what you don't get, and in who you don't become? You think you're paying $5, but in reality, you're paying with a chunk of your life that you can never buy back. Have you ever wondered why the poor stay poor even when they start earning more? You think it's a government conspiracy or evil fate? No, it's not a conspiracy. It's arithmetic that they ignore. They think wealth is big deals, yachts, and inheritance, but wealth is what remains when you stop acting like an idiot. And you act like an idiot every time you exchange compound interest for a momentary spike of dopamine. You think I'm talking about coffee? You think that if you stop drinking lattes, you'll become rich? If you think that, you are listening, but not hearing. Coffee is just a symbol. It is the tip of the iceberg, beneath which hides the Titanic of your financial collapse. It's not about the liquid in the cup, it's about the hole in your thinking. You probably think, "But Charlie, it's just $5, they won't solve anything." And right here is where you fall into the trap. You think that $5 is a static value, but money is not static. Money is seeds. When you give $5 to the barista, you aren't just spending a piece of paper, you are killing potential. You are taking a seed from which an oak could have grown and grinding it into flour to bake a tiny bun that you will eat in a minute. You are committing an act of vandalism against your future, and the scariest part is that you do it with a sense of dignity, with a feeling that you are worth it. Who told you that you are worth it? Marketers, the very people whose only task is to reach into your pocket and pull out everything down to the last cent while making you feel grateful for it. They trained you like Pavlov's dogs. The alarm rings, saliva flows, the hand reaches for the wallet. You do not control this process controls you. You think buying coffee is your free choice? Try not buying it tomorrow. Try walking past the coffee shop. You will feel withdrawal, you will feel irritation, your brain will start inventing excuses. I had a hard day. I need to wake up. I'll meet a colleague there. This is not the voice of reason. This is the voice of addiction. You are a junkie hooked on the needle of consumption, and your dose costs $5. But its real cost is $1 million that you will never see. You are probably angry at me right now. You are thinking, where did this $1 million come from? Where are these numbers from? You're just scaring me. Fine, let's remove emotions and leave only the cold, ruthless steel of mathematics. Do you know what opportunity cost is? This is a concept that should be taught in the first grade of school, but it is hidden from you because the economy needs consumers, not investors. Opportunity cost is what you give up when making a choice. When you choose to spend $5 today, you are giving up what those $5 could have turned into in 30 or 40 years. You think time is just a clock on the wall? No. Time is a multiplier. Time is a lever. And you, being young or even middle-aged, possess the most powerful lever in the world. But you use it to hit yourself over the head. You look at me and see an old man who has billions and you think, it's easy for him to talk. But you don't understand the main thing. You have an asset that I don't have, and which I cannot buy for all the money in the world. You have time. I am 99 years old. My planning horizon is tomorrow's breakfast. Your horizon is decades. If I could trade places with you, if I could give away all my assets to return to your body and your age with my knowledge of the power of compound interest, I would do it without hesitation. Why? Because I know that with your time and my discipline, I would become a billionaire again, but this time I would do it faster. And you? You take this priceless gift, time, and flush it down the toilet along with the remnants of your Americano. You burn your most important asset to keep warm for 5 minutes. You still think I'm exaggerating? You think, well, okay, I spent $5, but I'll earn more? This is a poor man's mindset. A rich man doesn't think about how to earn more to spend more. A rich man thinks about how to make every dollar work so that he doesn't have to earn more. You behave like a leaky bucket. No matter how much water you pour into it, it will never fill up. You work, you get tired, you get money, you spend it on trifles that don't make you happier. And at the end of the month, you are back at zero. This is the rat race, and coffee is just the grease for this wheel. You drink it to have the strength to run further, to earn for the next cup. It is a vicious circle. It is an Ouroboros, a snake eating its own tail, and you are inside the stomach of this snake. But the scariest thing is not even the money. The scariest thing is that you are training your brain to be weak. Every time you give in to an impulse, every time you tell yourself, I want this right now, you weaken your willpower muscle. You become a slave to your desires. You think wealth is built on lucky deals? No, wealth is built on the ability to say no to yourself. If you can't say no to a cup of coffee, how will you say no to a stupid mortgage? How will you say no to panic on the stock exchange? How will you say no to scammers? You won't be able to. You have already lost the battle in your head, and your empty wallet is just a consequence of your defeat. You think you're buying status? You walk with this cup with a trendy name written on it, and you think you look successful. I look at you, and I see a person wearing a sign around their neck. I don't know how to count, and I don't know how to wait. This is not success. This is a loser's camouflage. You think I'm cruel? Perhaps. But a surgeon also causes pain to save a life. I am cutting your ego to get to the tumor of your financial illiteracy. You can be offended by me. You can turn off this video and go buy yourself a comforting dessert, thereby proving that I am 100% right. Or you can stop, look at this cup in your hand, and for the first time in your life, see its true nature. It is not coffee. It is the ash of your million. It is the tombstone of your financial freedom. And you are holding it in your hands right now. The only question is, do you have the courage to admit it? Or will you continue to drink this sweet lie to the bottom until you discover that your life is as empty as this cup? Most people, and you most likely fall into this category, are financially illiterate. And this is not an insult thrown in a fit of old man's rage. It is a medical diagnosis that explains why your life looks like running in a wheel greased with your own sweat. You look at me through the screen and say, I don't have money to invest. I barely make ends meet. And in that moment, you believe in your lie so sincerely that I almost feel sorry for you. But pity is a bad teacher, so I will use a scalpel. You are lying. You have money. You just eat it, you drink it, you blow it as blue smoke into your lungs and call it stress relief. Although in reality, you are simply financing your own slavery. You think poverty is a lack of income? No. Poverty in the modern world is a lack of impulse control, and right now, I will prove it to you using the only language that cannot lie, the language of arithmetic. Arithmetic doesn't give a damn about your excuses, your difficult childhood, or the fact that you had a hard day at the office. Let's take these pathetic $5 we talked about, the very bill you throw on the coffee shop counter with the carelessness of a millionaire, which you will never become if you continue in the same spirit. $5 a day. It seems like nothing, dust, a statistical error, right? You think, what can I do with $5? Buy an island? Don't make me laugh. But this is where the trap lies, into which 99% of the population falls, because your brain doesn't know how to multiply, it only knows how to want. Let's multiply for you. $5 a day is $150 a month. Still not impressive? You spend more on subscriptions you don't use and on taxes because you were too lazy to get up 10 minutes earlier and you consider this normal. But what if I tell you that these $150 are not money? They are bricks from which you could build a fortress, but instead you throw them out the window? You probably think I'm about to suggest you just put this money in a piggy bank and all your problems will be solved like in a fairy tale. Oh, how naive you are if you think it's that simple. If you just stack this money under a mattress or in a non-interest-bearing account, as our grandmothers did, in 40 years, you will have $72,000. And here comes the first plot twist that should make you shudder. You think $72,000 is a nice addition to your pension? You think this is a victory? No. This is a defeat. This is the path of a loser who lost the war without even realizing who his enemy was. Because while you were saving these papers, while you were denying yourself coffee just to keep money in the dark, a quiet, invisible killer named inflation came and devoured half of your purchasing power. You think you saved money? No, you just froze its corpse. In 40 years, with these $72,000, you will be able to buy what costs $20,000 a day, and you will be standing before a broken trough, cursing the day you decided to listen to advice about simple saving. Do you feel that chill? You thought I would give you a solution, but I just showed you that your assumed solution is another trap. You are at a dead end. On the one hand, spend everything, and be a beggar. On the other hand, save under the mattress and be a beggar robbed by inflation. And right here, you must ask the question that will finally begin to change your brain chemistry. If I can't spend and I can't just save, then what the hell am I supposed to do? But before we move to the exit from this labyrinth, you must understand why you ended up in it in the first place. Why you, an adult, rational person, behave like a child in a candy store. You think it's your fault? Partly. But the truth is much scarier. The most powerful industry in the history of mankind is working against you. An industry that spends billions of dollars not to make the product better, but to hack your dopamine cycle. You think you buy coffee because you are thirsty? No. You buy it because you were sold the idea that you are worth it, that it is your status, that it is your cure for sadness. Marketers know more about how your brain works than you do yourself. They know where your buttons are, and they push them with the cynical precision of a pianist. They created a world where spending $5 on nonsense is an act of self-respect, and investing the same $5 is stinginess and tediousness. They flip the concepts of good and evil in your wallet. You look at your neighbor who changes cars every 3 years and think he is successful, but you don't see his balance sheet. You don't see that he is drowning in loans. You only see the facade. And you try to copy this facade using your pathetic $5. You try to buy a ticket to the club of successful people, but you buy a ticket to the Titanic. You think $150 a month doesn't matter. Let me show you what the butterfly effect is in finance. You spend this money on trifles that you forget in an hour. You don't remember the taste of that coffee you drank last Tuesday. You don't remember where that pack of cigarettes went. But money remembers. Money doesn't forgive amnesia. Every time you open your wallet for an impulsive purchase, you commit a micro-betrayal of your future self. You steal from the old man you will become. You think, I'm young, I need to live now. This is the biggest lie the devil whispers in your ear. Living now does not mean destroying your tomorrow. You confuse joy with pleasure. Pleasure is dopamine from sugar and caffeine. It lasts 15 minutes and leaves emptiness behind. Joy is the realization that you are safe, that you are building capital, that you do not depend on a boss, but you choose 15 minutes. Why? Because you don't see the alternative. You don't see what could have been. You think the problem is a small salary. If I give you $1 million today, in a year you will be bankrupt because your habits will remain the same. You will just start buying coffee not for $5, but for $50. The problem is not the amount of the incoming flow. The problem is the hole in your bucket. And this hole is your attitude towards trifles. You say, it's just a trifle. There is nothing in the ocean but drops. There is nothing in the desert but grains of sand. Your fortune is a mountain of trifles that you either collect or scatter. You think I'm cruel? You think I'm exaggerating? You want proof? Look at your bank account right now. What do you see there? If you see an amount there that you can live on for 6 months without working, congratulations, you can turn off this video. But if you see emptiness there, or worse, credit card debt, then shut your ego and listen further, because your life strategy is obviously not working. You are playing a game whose rules you don't understand, against opponents who see your cards. You think $5 is the price of coffee, but the real price is what those $5 could have turned into. This is called opportunity cost, the price of a missed opportunity, and this is the scariest concept in economics because It shows you the ghosts of wealth that you killed with your own hands. You killed them when you bought that sandwich you could have made at home. You killed them when you upgraded a phone that still worked. You are a graveyard of unrealized opportunities, and you don't even know it. You think I'm telling you to save for the sake of saving, so that you die on a pile of money like Scrooge McDuck? No, I'm telling you this because you are in slavery, and you don't even see the chains. You think you are free because you can choose between a latte and a cappuccino? That is the freedom of a prisoner to choose which bunk to sleep on. True freedom begins where dependence on the next paycheck ends. And the path to this freedom begins not with winning the lottery, but with those damn $5 you're holding in your hand. But here is the main plot twist you don't expect. I told you that saving under a mattress is the path of a loser. I told you that spending is the path of a slave. You are panicking now. So what should I do? You think there is no way out? There is a way out, but it requires you to perform a mental somersault that only 5% of people are capable of. You must stop being a consumer and stop being a saver. You must become someone else, someone you might be afraid of, someone who looks at $5 not as a medium of exchange and not as a store of value, but as a soldier. Are you ready to learn how to turn a piece of paper into a soldier who will conquer the world for you? Or would you prefer to stay in your cozy illusion that you just love coffee? Because what I tell you next will destroy your world completely, and there will be no way back to blissful ignorance. I see you rolling your eyes right now. I literally hear that heavy sigh of disappointment escaping your chest because you expected me to open a secret door to Alibaba's cave for you, that I would give you a secret code to the universe's ATM, or name a cryptocurrency that would make you a billionaire by next Thursday, but instead I am talking to you about $5 and discipline. You think, again, this old man with his lectures, I've heard this 1,000 times. It's boring, it's slow. It's for those who have one foot in the grave. And at this very moment, when you reach for the button to close this video and return to watching dancing cats or successful bloggers in rented Lamborghinis, you are making the most fatal mistake of your life, a mistake that will cost you not just money, but decades of freedom. Stop. Take your finger off the screen, because what I say now will turn your understanding of reality upside down, just as if you found out the earth was flat, only in reverse. You think you know how money works? You know nothing. You think you understand time? You are blind. You think your problem is a lack of capital? No, your problem is a lack of character. And right now, I am going to prove it to you, using only logic and that very cup of coffee you are still holding in your hand as a symbol of your stubbornness. Have you ever wondered why the rich get richer while you run in circles? You think it's a conspiracy? You think they know a secret? There is a secret, but it is so offensively simple that your brain refuses to perceive it, because if you accept it, you'll have to admit that you have been an idiot for the last 10 years. Are you ready for the pain? Are you ready for the truth? Here it is. You must stop acting like a consumer being milked and start acting like a capitalist who owns the farm. You must stop eating the seeds and start planting them. What if I tell you that those pathetic $5 that you spend with the ease of a drunken sailor can turn not into $72,000 that inflation will devour, but into an amount that will make you choke on your latte? What if I tell you that there is a time machine that turns trash into gold, and this machine is available to you right now in your phone, but you are too busy scrolling the feed to press the buy button? Let's take those $5. Instead of giving them to the barista who will forget your name in a second, or putting them under a mattress where the moth of inflation will eat them, you invest them in the most boring, most banal, most unsexy asset in the world, the S&P 500 Index Fund. You wince? I know. It doesn't sound like a crypto revolution. It sounds like advice from your grandpa. But your grandpa probably lived his life in debt because he didn't listen to this advice, or conversely, died rich because he listened. The average return of the U.S. stock market over the last 100 years is about 10% per annum. This is not magic. This is not a promise. This is statistics that survived world wars, pandemics, presidential assassinations, and the advent of the internet. 10%. Remember this number. And now watch my hands, because a trick is about to happen that you won't be able to explain to your friends if you don't understand the essence. If you invest $5 a day, $150 a month, at 10% per annum, and do it with religious fanaticism, not missing a day or a month or a year, do you know what will happen in 40 years? Your brain, accustomed to linear thinking, suggests to you, well, maybe 150,000? Well, 200? You are wrong. You are catastrophically wrong. In 40 years, you will not have the 72,000 you invested. You will have almost $1 million. $948,000 to be exact. Almost $1 million out of thin air, out of coffee, out of trash. You invested 72,000 of your own money, and the market gave you $876,000 on top just because you knew how to wait. Do you understand what this means? It means that every time you drink coffee, you are not drinking $5. You are drinking $60 of your future capital. You are drinking a piece of your apartment. You are drinking the education of your grandchildren. I see your face changing. First shock, then disbelief, and now anger again. I hear that voice in your head, that poisonous whisper of your internal saboteur. Oh, Charlie, 40 years is so long, I'll be an old man. Why do I need $1 million at 70 if I can't enjoy it now? I want to live today. I deserve this coffee. And here we come to the climax of your stupidity. You think the argument about time is your trump card. It is your sentence. You say 40 years is a long time. Are you planning to die next Tuesday? If you don't have terminal cancer, then I have bad news for you. You will most likely live to old age. Time will pass anyway. The question is not whether 40 years will pass. The question is who you will be in 40 years. Will you be an old man with $1 million who can afford the best medicine, travel, and respect? Or will you be an old man standing in line for a social handout, cursing the government and recalling how tasty the latte was in 2024? You say, I want to live now. But you are not living now. You exist on credit from your future. You steal from the old man you will become, and that old man will hate you. You think you deserved this coffee? For what? For waking up? For going to a job you hate? You deserved poverty. You deserved addiction. You deserved fear of tomorrow, because you exchange a minute of sweet taste for a decade of freedom. This is the stupidest, most unprofitable deal in the history of mankind, and you make it every morning with a smile on your face. You exchange gold for glass beads like natives. Only the natives didn't know the price of gold, and you have a calculator in your pocket, but you are too lazy to open it. But wait, the plot thickens even more. You think I'm suggesting asceticism? You think I want you to suffer for 40 years for the sake of ghostly wealth? No. I want you to understand the nature of time. Time is not the enemy. Time is a lever. You have an asset that I don't have, and which I cannot buy for all the money in the world, even if I sell all my Berkshire Hathaway shares. You have time. I am 99 years old. My horizon is tomorrow's breakfast. Your horizon is half a century. I would give all my billions, you hear, every last cent, to return to your body, to your 25 or 30 years, with empty pockets, but with my knowledge of the power of compound interest. Because I know that with your time and my discipline, I would become rich again, but I would make it inevitable. And you? You take this priceless gift, time, and flush it down the toilet. You burn your most important asset to keep warm for 5 minutes. You think 10% is too little? You're looking for schemes that give 100% in a month? You're looking for a lottery ticket. And do you know what happens to lottery winners? They die bankrupt because they got money, but didn't get brains. Compound interest is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It is a get-rich-guaranteed scheme. It is physics. It is a law of nature. Einstein called it the eighth wonder of the world, and you call it boring. Who is right? The genius of physics or the guy who can't pay off a credit card? The answer is obvious, but your ego won't let you accept it. You want to feel special. You want to believe that you are smarter than the market, that you will find that coin which will fly to the moon. But while you are looking for a rocket, you miss the escalator that slowly but surely takes people to the top. And here happens the real breaking of the fourth wall. You think I'm talking to you about money? You think this video is about finance? You are blind. This video is not about money. This video is about your psychology. This video is about your ability to delay gratification. This is the famous marshmallow test for children, only you are an adult, and you fail it every day. A child eats the marshmallow immediately. A smart child waits and gets two. You eat your marshmallow, your coffee, your new phone, your branded rag, and deprive yourself of a confectionery factory. You think you are free because you can buy what you want? This is the freedom of a junkie. True freedom is the ability not to buy. It is the ability to walk past a shop window and say, I don't need this because I am building an empire. You still think 1,040 years isn't worth the sacrifice? Fine, let's shorten the term. Let's increase the stake. What if you invest not $5 but $10? Not $150 but $300 a month? You will say, I don't have that kind of money. A lie. Open your card statement. Look at the taxis, the food delivery, the alcohol, the impulsive purchases on marketplaces. The money is there. It is just scattered through your life like trash. Collect this trash, compress it into briquettes, and throw it into the furnace of compound interest. In 20 years, you will have $500,000. In 30, 1.5. You can retire at 50, not 70. You can buy yourself 20 years of life. How much is 20 years of your life worth when you don't have to go to work? How much is the opportunity to see your grandchildren grow without asking your boss for time off worth? It is worth more than any coffee. But you don't see it. You only see the foam on the cappuccino. You think the system is against you? The system is neutral. The market is just a tool. S&P 500 is not a casino. It is a mirror of human progress. Companies work, people invent, the economy grows, and you can either watch this from the sidelines or own a piece of this growth. When you buy an index fund, you buy a piece of Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google. You make the smartest engineers in the world work for you. They don't sleep at night to increase profits, and you get a part of that profit simply because you gave up coffee. This is the most honest exploitation in the world. But you prefer to be exploited. You prefer to give your money to these companies as a consumer instead of taking their money as a shareholder. You are standing on the wrong side of the counter, and until you switch to the other side, you will be poor, even if you win the lottery. I see doubt appearing in your eyes. What if he's right? This is a good sign. This is a crack in your armor of ignorance, but the doubt will pass quickly if you don't cement it with action. You will close this video and habit will take over. Tomorrow morning, you will go to the coffee shop again. Your hand will reach for the card again, and at that moment, you will remember me. You will remember my words about ash, and the coffee will become bitter. It will never taste the same again. I poisoned your pleasure with the truth. And this is the best gift I could give you, because now you have a choice. Before you were blind, now you see. And if you continue to drink this ash, knowing that it is $1 million, then you are no longer a victim of circumstances. You are a voluntary accomplice in a crime against yourself. So, who are you? An intelligent investor or a trained Pavlov's dog who cannot resist the bell? Every time you approach the checkout, take out your card and hear that short, harmless beep of the payment terminal, you think you're making a normal transaction. Money in exchange for goods. $5 in exchange for a cup of hot liquid with caffeine. But what if I tell you that at this moment, not a purchase is happening, but a murder? You flinch. You think I've lost my mind? Look at your hand. You didn't just give away a piece of paper with a president's portrait. With your own hands, you wrung the neck of the golden goose that was ready to lay eggs for you every morning for the rest of your life. But you decided that you were too hungry, too impatient, too weak to wait. And so you slaughtered it for one tiny, tough piece of meat that you will forget in 5 minutes. You are eating the seeds instead of planting them. And that is the definition of madness that has led to the demise of more civilizations than any war. A farmer who eats the seed grain in winter because he wanted a pie condemns himself to starvation in the spring. You are that farmer. Only your winter is your old age, and it is approaching faster than you think while you enjoy your pie. You think I speak in metaphors? You think this is poetry? No, this is brutal reality hidden behind marketing gloss. Poor people, and you are probably one of them even if you wear brand-name sneakers, live by the formula, sell your time to buy things. This is the formula of slavery. You sell hours of your life that will never return to buy trash that will break in a year. Rich people live by a formula that seems boring to you, but it is exactly what makes them kings. They live boringly to buy time. You have an asset I don't have, an asset worth more than all the oil wells of Saudi Arabia. You have time. I am 99 years old. My billions cannot buy me the opportunity to return to your 25 years. I would give everything, do you hear? All my shares, all my houses, all my dividends, to be in your place, with empty pockets, but with your time horizon. But I can't, and you can. And what do you do with this gift? You flush it down the toilet. You take this priceless lever and use it to dig yourself a hole. You think you are free because you can choose the syrup for your latte? This is not freedom. This is a menu in a prison cafeteria. True freedom is when you don't need to look at the menu because you own the restaurant. But you will never become an owner as long as you continue to act like the perfect consumer. You will go and buy another cup, not because you are thirsty, but because marketers, those brilliant puppeteers, convinced you that you are worth it. They have been training you for years. They know which button color will make you press buy. They know which notification sound will make you salivate. They milk you like cattle on a farm, and you smile, wipe your lips, and ask for more, thinking it's your choice. You think you are a customer? No, you are the product. Your wallet is a resource they extract, and they do it with such virtuosity that you even thank them for this robbery. And here happens a twist that should knock the wind out of your lungs. You think it's about coffee? You think I'm picking on this miserable drink? It's not about coffee. Coffee is just the tip of the iceberg beneath which the Titanic of your financial collapse hides. It's about the cigarettes you smoke, burning money and health simultaneously. It's about the taxi you call because you are too lazy to walk 2 blocks. It's about subscriptions to services you don't watch, but which suck your blood every month for $10. It's about the new phone you buy on credit, even though the old one works perfectly. It's about a concept economists call, by the boring term, opportunity cost. But I call it the price of a missed life. What is opportunity cost? It is a ghost. It is the ghost of that million you killed by buying a car you couldn't afford. It is the ghost of the freedom you strangled by signing up for a mortgage for an extra room you don't even enter. Every dollar spent today on nonsense is not just a dollar. It is a soldier. Imagine an army. Your dollar is a little green soldier whose only goal, the meaning of his existence, is to capture territory for you, take other soldiers prisoner, interest, and bring them to you as trophies. When you invest, you send your soldiers to war for your freedom. They fight while you sleep. They recruit new soldiers. Your army grows. But what do? You take these soldiers, line them up against a wall, and shoot them. For what? For 5 minutes of pleasure, to throw dust in the eyes of colleagues? You are a general exterminating his own army. And when the real war comes, crisis, illness, layoff, old age, you will look back, and there will be no one behind you. You will stand alone, naked and defenseless against a cruel world, and you will blame the government, the economy, God. But only you and your inability to value your soldiers will be to blame. You think this is cruel? No, this is arithmetic. Mathematics knows no pity, it only knows consequences. You think $5 is a trifle? There is nothing in the ocean but drops. Your fortune is an ocean you drain drop by drop every day. You think, I will start investing when I earn more. This is a lie with which you lull your conscience. If you can't manage an army of 10 soldiers, you won't handle an army of 10,000. You will just kill them faster. You think I want you to live in a cave and eat bark? No. I want you to realize the price, the real price. When you see a price tag of $5, your brain should automatically recalculate it into $60 of your future capital. Are you ready to pay $60 for this coffee? If yes, drink. But be honest with yourself. Most of you are not ready. Most of you, if you saw the real price tag of $60, would run out of the coffee shop in horror. But this price tag is invisible, and it is this invisibility that kills you. You are blind to the future. You live in the eternal now like an animal. But a human has a prefrontal cortex, has the ability to plan. Use it, damn it, or you are no different from that Pavlov's dog I talked about in the beginning. You think time is infinite? You look in the mirror and don't see wrinkles, so you think you have eternity in reserve. This is the most dangerous illusion. Time is sand slipping through your fingers, and you cannot clench your fist to stop it. The only thing you can do is turn this sand into concrete, from which you will build a foundation. Investing is that concrete. Consumption is the wind that scatters the sand. The choice you make at the checkout is not a choice of beverage. It is a choice of destiny. You choose between being and seeming. You choose between owning and renting. And the scariest thing is that you make this choice unconsciously, automatically, like a zombie. I want to wake you up. I want you to feel physical pain the next time your hand reaches for your wallet for another impulsive purchase. Pain from losing $1 million. Pain from killing a soldier. Pain from betraying your future self. If you feel this pain, it means you are recovering. It means marketing hypnosis is starting to wear off. But if you continue to smile and tap your card, justifying yourself that you only live once, then you are right. You only live once, and you are losing it. You are losing it $5 a round, and at the end of the game, there will be no option to save and start over. Game over will be final. So what will you choose right now? Continue feeding someone else's system or start building your own? The answer seems obvious, but for some reason, your hand is still reaching for that damn cup. Why? I see your brain trying to build the last line of defense right now. I hear that panicked whisper of your internal consumer screaming, "But Charlie, do you want me to live like a monk? Do you want me to drink water from a puddle, wear rags, and deny myself everything for money I will use when I'm old and infirm?" And at this moment, you commit the most major logical error that holds you in chains tighter than any bank loan. Because you confuse asceticism with strategy, you confuse deprivation with discipline, and this confusion is exactly what the entire entertainment and marketing industry rests on. I am not calling you to live in a cave. I am not calling you to suffer. I am calling you to wake up from the lethargic sleep in which you reside, thinking that buying trash makes you happy. You think this $5 cup of coffee is happiness? If your happiness depends on hot water with sugar, then you are not just poor. You are destitute in spirit, and no millions will fix that. I am calling you not to poverty, but to power, to total control over your impulses, because only control gives true freedom, not the ability to choose a syrup flavor. You think I want to deprive you of joy? On the contrary, I want to give you the only real joy available to an adult man or woman, the joy of sovereignty, the joy of realizing that you are not a puppet having its strings pulled by marketers, but a puppeteer who decides where to direct their resources. Wealth is not luck, as losers in bars tell you, and it is not genius, as internet gurus tell you. Wealth is boring, monotonous, ruthless discipline. It is the ability to stand in front of a pastry shop window, see the cakes, want them, smell the vanilla, but say a firm no, because you know that tomorrow you will have your own confectionery factory if you don't eat this piece today. This is the famous marshmallow test that children take in kindergarten. But you, an adult with hair on your chest and a mortgage, fail this test every single day. And that is exactly why you are where you are. If you cannot control your impulses at the level of pathetic $5, if you cannot defeat a piece of cardboard with a logo, how are you going to defeat the market? How are you going to manage millions if you cannot manage pocket change? You won't be able to. Money will simply crush you. It will amplify your stupidity 1,000 times, and you will end up bankrupt even if you win the jackpot tomorrow morning. The choice facing you right now is much deeper than to drink or not to drink. It is a choice to drink your million or to own it. You look at me and think, he's exaggerating, once doesn't count. But in mathematics, there is no concept of once. In mathematics, there is a concept of trend. And your trend is a downward slide. You think you are buying coffee, but in reality, you are buying oblivion. You are buying 5 minutes of silence so as not to hear the voice of your conscience telling you that you are not living as you could. You use consumption as anesthesia to dull the pain of unrealized potential, but the anesthesia wears off and the pain remains, and every year it becomes sharper. Are you afraid of old age? You should be afraid of it if you continue to behave the way you do. Old age without money is hell on earth. It is humiliation. It is dependence on children who will possibly be just as financially illiterate as you, because the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Do you want such a fate? Do you want to stand in a pharmacy and choose whether to buy heart medicine or food? If not, then why do you behave as if you have a spare life in the trunk? You don't have a spare life. You only have this one. And in this life, time is the scarcest resource. You burn it. You kill it. You exchange it for cheap trinkets. I offer you a deal that only a madman would refuse. Sacrifice a little today to get everything tomorrow. But you hesitate. Why? Because you don't believe in yourself. You don't believe you are worthy of $1 million. You believe you are worthy only of a cup of coffee. And this is the scariest truth I can tell you. Your wallet is empty, not because the economy is bad, but because your self-esteem is at rock bottom. You are content with crumbs from the table of capitalism, although you could be sitting at the head of this table. But here is a turn that can save you. You can change everything right now. Not from Monday, not from the new year. The second this video ends, you can look at this cup in your hand and see in it not a friend, but an enemy. You can see in it a vampire sucking your blood. And if you see this, if you feel this healthy anger, this rage at yourself for years of stupidity, then you have a chance. Anger is good fuel. Use it. Take these $5 and send them to a brokerage account. Do it with aggression. Do it as an act of vengeance against the system that wanted to make you a slave. Let it be a small amount. Who cares? The main thing is the gesture. The main thing is breaking the pattern. You stop being a Pavlov's dog and become a Homo sapiens. And when you see how these $5 turn into $5.50, you will feel something new. You will feel the taste of blood, the taste of the hunt, the taste of ownership. And this taste is sweeter than any syrup. You think I will end on a positive note? You think I will tell you, you will succeed? Believe in yourself? No, I am not your mom. I don't know if you will succeed. Statistics say that 90% of you will turn off this video, scratch the back of your head, and go on flushing your life down the toilet because inertia is the most powerful force in the universe. Most people are born to be fodder for capital, batteries in the matrix, and they will die as batteries. But there is 10%, maybe 5%, maybe one person in 1,000 who is sitting in front of the screen right now, and his fists are clenched. He hates me for telling the truth, but he hates himself even more for allowing it. And I am addressing this person. You are the exception. You are an error in the code. You can break free. But for this, you need to admit your sickness. And now tell me honestly, only without self-deception, without that sweet lie you feed yourself before bed. What exactly is the trifle you buy every day that steals your future? What is this hole in your pocket through which your million leaks? Is it coffee? Is it a pack of cigarettes killing you twice, physically and financially? Is it a subscription to a service you don't watch? Is it a taxi you call because you're too lazy to walk? Is it snacks you chew out of boredom? Each of you has this little sin that you consider harmless, but which is actually a serial killer of your opportunities. I want you to drag it into the light. I want you to name your demon. Write in the comments exactly what you drain your million on. Don't write, "I spend a lot." Write specifically, "I spend $200 a month on vaping. I spend $150 on coffee. I spend $300 on food delivery." Admission is the first step to a cure. Let's look at this parade of human stupidity in the comments. Let's see how many future millionaires are here who are ready to kill the consumer in themselves, and how many are eternal slaves who will defend their chains to the last breath. I will read every comment, and I will judge you. I am waiting. Time has started, and it works either for you or against you. What will you choose?